Ladies and gentlemen, you might recall a set of goofy action-adventure movies starring Brendan Fraser.
Were fantastic.
I didn't say they weren't fantastic.
Well, they are.
Yeah, and a particularly well-preserved Egyptian corpse.
I was also in them.
By the name of
No,
Yeah.
I played the Magi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh yeah, you play.
You don't recognize.
Oded Fair.
You don't recognize me without the face tattoos.
Well,
It's true.
honestly, Oded Fair. I mean, that he keeps his hair short now.
Micah doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
But yeah, so
You are a Magi, though, Micah.
they're now remaking The Mummy,
Mm-hmm.
which, as I understand, is bringing it into the modern day. And now it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
I was talking to someone about this at work. I haven't seen this, but I was under the impression it was inspired from like your classic Universal monster movie, Mummy. So it's which the other Mummy series was kind of inspired by that. So it's kind of taking from the original Mummy, but it's also sort of connected to the series. So it's not. I don't think they're trying to completely redo the Brendan Fraser.
Well, so I've done some research into this, and their intention is to Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right,
the
that was my
original
understanding.
monsters,
Is
yes.
they're gonna do like because they did a Wolfman with Benicio del Toro, which I liked.
This is the start of it.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So they're not.
And they also
using
did
that one either.
Dracula
They're-
Untold.
They're not using Dracula
Right.
Untold.
That's-
They are
so-
pointedly not using Dracula Untold.
So they've experimented with the monsters, but now it's
they're
a whole new property that. So
now
I don't,
they're trying.
I
to...
don't think they're trying to replace Brendan Fraser because you can't.
Yeah.
You can't replace it.
Well,
I don't think that's the intent.
like
If this guy's name's Rick O'Connell, I'm gonna be pissed.
it's not.
Thank God.
But one thing that I'm really worried about, Sophia Boutella
Of Kingsman and
of Kingsman and Star Trek Beyond. I wish she could have gotten a better role because I'm so worried that this movie's going to be bad, and she doesn't deserve that.
Is she the mummy?
She is the Mummy.
Oh, a lady mummy.
So
She Mummy.
now, of the three
I want my mummy. you my
Abrams
mummy?
verse Star Trek movies, Star Trek Beyond was my favorite. It was the closest to an actual Star Trek movie I think we've gotten.
And she was probably your favorite character.
And she
in that.
was one of my favorites.
I never
in
saw
that
it, but
movie.
I heard it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it either, but
J-Lo was fantastic.
I liked Into Darkness. I thought Khan was fabulous.
Into Darkness was. Ugh.
there were parts of it. Okay, Into Darkness up until the point where I realized, oh God, they're Wrath of Conning this.
Especially
They're Wrath of
after they
Conning this.
said we're not doing Wrath of Khan. That's the one. That got
Everyone
me.
knew that Benedict Cumberbatch was Khan, and they were doing Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
No one should have ever believed them when they said that.
No, I knew he was going to play Khan, but at the same time, you should at least try and strive to be more different instead
Yeah.
of just switching roles.
Yeah, and
I thought Benedict Cumberbatch was fantastic.
I did
Benedict
too.
Cumberbatch
I
was
liked him as
good.
Khan. I liked
that
him as
movie
Khan.
was awful.
I just like.
I wouldn't say
Cumberbatch.
off. I wouldn't say awful. I'd
I
say I'd say it was. I'd say it was a good. For me, it was a good thrill ride up until. But as you stated, for you, Star Trek is not an action series. It's more
Yeah.
exploration and
And then Con Ex Machina to save Kirk's life. No,
that I called bullshit on.
no, that's some
That I called bullshit on.
bullshit.
But there were some parts in that film I was really impressed with.
yeah,
Anyway.
but so I really like Sophia Boutella's work. I feel like this movie's not going to be good, and she's going to suffer for it, which I don't think she deserves. But anyway, so let's watch the trailer and see if it's because I'm not expecting good things.
Let's dive right in.
I'm really not. This is.
All right.
Yeah, no.
It's a hell of a sarcophagus. God, Alfred Hitchcock is back. He's here for revenge.
Well, they're all dead.
Ow. Well, she's not.
I'm glad Tom Cruise is only going to be in this movie for 5 minutes.
Bullshit.
Spoilers.
Bullshit.
Absolute bullshit. Yeah.
Welcome to a new world of gods and monsters.
Nice looking there, Four Eyes.
She is real.
Please meet Princess Amunet. She will claim what she has been denied.
A decent film role.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
No.
This is what I was afraid of, which is Tom Cruise taking everything too seriously. Because the reason that I thought it worked with Brendan Fraser is because it was sort of light a little bit. You know?
There was a good level of humor in it.
Yeah, and they knew it's like, okay, don't
That's the
take
thing, though.
this.
The mythos was really good, though.
Yeah, the mythos was great. They didn't take it too seriously, and they could have fun. This looks like garbage, because here's the thing:
Hot garbage.
what I've seen in that trailer. So Tom Cruise is dead, and then mysteriously comes back to life.
Spoilers.
Mummy powers.
Woo. So, to be fair, she shouldn't have made it out either. This is exactly what I was afraid of. This looks real bad.
Oh, boy.
This is supposed to be the start of,
It just looks
like,
kind of like formulaic action movie.
yeah, average. And in this day and age, average is not what this series needs, because how many monster movies have we gotten?
a lot.
Plenty.
Recently?
Plenty.
A bunch.
I really like the Benicio del Toro Wolfman.
Yeah.
I would kind of like another Wolfman movie. Honestly, I would like a cool Frankenstein movie because that's a great story.
I would also like a cool Frankenstein movie.
Honestly, probably my favorite is, I absolutely adore Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh yeah.
And I would love to see a good Dracula movie. Because I think probably, I don't know, probably my favorite that I've seen recently. I mean, of course, Christopher Lee is fantastic as like Dracula.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. 58 Horror of Dracula is probably my favorite.
But I really like Francis Ford Coppola's.
I was indifferent upon it.
I mean, it there were a lot of things. It just, I don't know, like the style, because I don't know. I just see a lot of its influence in movies.
Well, for one thing, for
I
me,
think it had a good visual style that I really liked.
well, the visuals were really good. For me, the downturns were Winona Ryder, Keanu Reeves.
She was a bit much.
Okay, Keanu Reeves. Yeah, I respect you on that one. That one's rough.
And trying to turn Dracula into an anti-hero. Here's the thing. They tried to do this with Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of the film, Texas Chainsaw 3D, started out so good because it put you back at the original ending of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
They even got a lot of the original people to play.
Yep.
They put them in makeup and they made them play their original characters.
Yep.
And then everything went downhill. and they tried to make Leatherface into an anti-hero. Here's the thing. You need villains. You need to have, and for classic villains like Dracula, like Frankenstein's monster really isn't a villain.
No.
He's a misunderstood monster.
Misunderstood, and, because of that, ends up being portrayed as a villain, but not a villain of his own making.
No. Dracula. Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Well, Frankenstein and the monster, they kind of have this weird vendetta against each other, and they they both end up at the Arctic Circle. Like the monster goes to kill him, or he goes to kill the monster, and but he actually dies in pursuit, and then the monster finally forgives him. But it's like they have this very strange relationship where they hunt each other across the globe.
Yeah.
Which they don't ever portray that in the movies. It's always like he dies burning in the tower. With,
because they didn't ever have the budget to actually do Arctic Circle.
Yeah, well, they actually did in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which was actually done by Kenneth Branagh.
Mm-hmm.
But still, the way that movie was done, they had Robert De Niro as the monster, which I thought, hey, that's good.
That's fascinating.
Robert De Niro as the monster. I mean, I didn't expect that. And it had him, Helena Bonham Carter, Kenneth Branagh, Aidan Quinn. Really good cast. And Anthony Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Really good cast. But to me, it just felt like it was lost in its own attempt to be what?
You know what I really want?
What?
What's that?
I just want more Hugh Jackman Van Helsing movies. Just throw all the monsters in there and make it ridiculous.
Yeah. I'd
Okay.
like that.
No, I'm in.
With Kate Beckinsale with a horrible Transylvanian accent, because
Van
that's all I need
Helsing.
in my life. That's all I need in my life.
What? Kate Beckinsale and her horrible her Transylvanian accent?
Yep.
I think he just means Kate Beckinsale in general.
Right, yeah.
Oh, dude, Kate Beckinsale. Yeah. That I remember. Okay, the Underworld films, they are continuing those though.
Yeah, which I didn't realize they made a fourth one, but apparently they did, because now they're making a fifth one.
Yep.
But
it had the Uberleichen.
Yeah.
Of course they called it the Uberleichen. Of course they did.
For
For
me, Hollywood. They're okay because of the success of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC's attempt at a DC Cinematic
everybody's
Universe.
trying to do a cinematic universe now, and people aren't getting it right. Marvel planned it out. They've got such long-term plans for it.
Yeah.
And the first movie they started off with, Iron Man,
which is a good introductory
Iron Man was a good introductory movie, and B, killed it.
Yeah.
As far as getting it started, and then, at the very end, they don't even really mention anything until the very end during the credits. Avengers Initiative.
Oh, by the way, do you know Russell Crowe is in this? And do you know what his character's name is?
Oh no.
His character's last name is Jekyll.
Yeah, that's right. We looked up the cast list, and Dr. Jekyll is
Really?
in this.
Yes.
Well, if there's anyone that can pull that off, it's Russell Crowe.
I could see him.
Yeah.
I'd like to see his Mr. Hyde. I wonder if his Mr. Hyde's going to be like
What was that movie?
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
No, it was Russell Crowe, but he was a this artificially intelligent computer program.
Oh, Virtuosity.
yes,
With Denzel Washington.
because he could do Mr. Hyde.
I think so too.
That movie was trippy.
I wonder if he could do like a trippy slash refined Mr. Hyde, or if he just wants to go full.
So basically, you know what I'd like to see?
What's that?
Mr. Hyde by way of no.
Oh,
Trevor.
Stephen Ogg. Stephen Ogg.
Yeah, like the Trevor Phillips as Mr. Hyde.
Drop my egg.
Hope you didn't crack up your egg there. But
Yolk it up.
but see, the thing is, this feels super formulaic, and
Ultra forced.
yeah,
So forced.
you got to try something a little bit. You got to try something that's going to be more fresh than, oh, let's make the Mummy a lady.
Don't get me
Okay.
wrong. It's interesting to see the Mummy as a female.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's that's not enough.
No.
I feel like the modern setting is really throwing it off too.
Yeah.
That is weird because it's like, okay, we've got guns and tech and all this stuff.
Well, there's not really in the modern world. There's a lot of mystery is gone. I mean, because the Wolfman worked because it's like there are still a lot of like places in the moors that people haven't explored.
You're correct.
And it's like, but nowadays it's like people don't really, I don't know.
No, I'm with you.
I get
feel,
you. I get
I
you
feel
there,
like the
man.
setting really throws it off because we've killed a lot of the mystery in the world today.
I mean, honestly, most of the mystery in the world today,
and
in the jungle,
yeah,
in the ocean.
and all those stories kind of are hinged on that, the
Yeah.
undiscovered stuff.
Well,
That's absolutely true.
So I think they're old world stories that
truth is, to me, you have to bring back some sort of. Here's the problem with a lot of movies nowadays. A lot of movies nowadays try to do like a logical explanation instead of letting the fear of the unknown do the work for them.
yes.
They need to give the mysticism and make it compelling, but don't give an answer. Because truth is, it's the unanswered questions that scare people the most.
That's absolutely true.
And you need to have that. You can't have like a scientific explanation. It's like, oh, she's able to do this because her chromosome count allows her to, scientific jibber jabble, bibber babble, whatever.
I mean,
the
look,
hell.
I love technobabble. I do. I love technobabble to death. But if you try to technobabble away everything, the mystery is gone, and the mystery is a big part of why things are creepy.
Yeah, and in
Because
horror films, techno jibber jabber isn't needed. Well, all you need is the primal fear that gets people interested and gets people like leering a little bit closer to the edge of their seats and gets people just a little bit more invested. Every scene has to be a build, and then you have a big payoff. Hitchcock knew this. Hitchcock didn't need a lot to tell you a great story.
The birds.
The birds is one thing. I'm referring to like rope. All he needed was a little piece of rope, and you are in such suspense over it. Lifeboat as well. Everyone's trapped on the lifeboat and is trying to figure out who if the murderer is amongst them.
Yep.
And it's paranoia and fear does the work for you. Instead, people try to over legitimize things.
Well,
and
I guess the question that
take it
you
too
run
serious.
into is, our audience, our moviegoers today, more jaded?
To some degree,
And
yeah.
I think that we are, because how much of this stuff are we bombarded with now? I mean, you look at video games, you look at TV today. I don't know. I imagine that it is harder and harder to legitimately scare an audience.
Well,
But
it can be, yeah.
that shouldn't stop you from trying, and this one doesn't look like it's trying.
No, it doesn't. You see, okay. Case in point. Stranger Things.
Oh, dude, Stranger Things was so
Stranger
good.
Things makes you have a fear of the unknown.
Yep.
And it pulls it off wonderfully because you don't really see the monster. You're seeing you get like little glimpses of the monster here and there. Like when they are finally like looking at the photo and they properly expose it to where you can see the outline of it.
The little touches.
Yes.
Yeah, like you see all around the monster, but you don't see the monster.
Yeah.
You see,
you see some of the
traces
outcome.
of it. You see the outcome. You see its effects, but you don't see the monster. It's so
And when you finally
so good.
and when you finally see the monster, it's a good monster.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If you haven't watched Stranger Things, get Netflix, watch it now. It is worth it.
And if you want the perfect antithesis of this, go watch Cloverfield, because the monster reveal is such a huge letdown.
There you go.
Because that monster looks ridiculous.
Well, for
and
me,
stupid.
I felt the suspense was a good build up, but you're right. For me, the monster wasn't as horrifying as it should have been.
Yeah, and there's something horrible. We're doing it again. We're going.
Yeah, we are. So,
doing
so
it
we
again.
need to stop. We need to stop.
Yeah.
And what we're going.
Let us know what you think down in the comments, because keep it civil, but there are a lot of ideas to cover here,
Yeah.
and I'm interested to see what your all's take on it is.
Absolutely.
So, and how would you do the Mummy reboot? If you want to call it a reboot, how would you do it? Because I've got ideas. You've got ideas, I'm sure.
Nope.
Yeah.
No?
I've got an idea. I've got an idea or
gravitated
two.
towards the Mummy,
Fair.
I've got an idea or two that could be done.
Yeah.
but now I got to think about it since you called me on it.
Okay.
Well, we've talked movies before.
Yeah.
We've had ideas. But
All right.
anyway, thank you
Go
all
ahead.
for watching this and sitting through how long? How much?
22 minutes,
Oh, I thought it was longer.
but a 3-minute video.
On a 3-minute
Or two,
video.
2.5-minute video, rather.
Not even as bad as we've done before.
No.
Thank you all for sitting through all of this, and hey, if you like this, we got plenty of other videos where we can't shut up,
Yep.
including a podcast now.
Yep.
We're trying that out, so we'll see how that goes.
Let's check that out if you want.
But yeah, guys, we'll catch you next time.